You in the office, baby. Going up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Slice Fight Network. We're here once again with Coreno. Girl, that's Reno. Blanchard. What's up, Reno? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, Sam? How y'all doing, Pete?
Good, man. We here with Big Rod. What's up, Big Rod?
What's that in the world? How y'all doing?
All right. We're gonna do a little recap. We're gonna catch up with Reno, and then we'll talk about the main event in the Contender Series last night with some of our local guys up there in Memphis. So Reno, didn't get the outcome you wanted on September 16th, man. Talk to us a little bit about that, and what's your approach coming back after that loss?
First I want to say, man, Lane Rowe and the referee did their jobs. So my following comments don't Lane and his people and the ref don't take any offense to it, but I'm just gonna speak my truth on it. I went into the fight more focused on the title than I was my opponent. And I think that's a good learning curve to take as an amateur. That's the whole point of being an amateur and going to these title fights, to get you ready for situations like that. And I just went in swinging and banging instead of staying in my game, standing ground, staying posed, and doing the blueprint and everything we trained for. We go through the fight. If you've seen it, you know it was a banger. We were just full-fledged hammerfest like the whole time. We were just going at it, throwing bombs the whole time. And the fight got stopped late in the second round, like less than 10 seconds left in the second round. I had a really bloody nose, and Lane was putting on the pressure. The referee stopped it from there. That ref doesn't know me, so he doesn't know that I could take those punches. That little possum game that I was playing, I was trying to set up Lane so I can come with some more big shots. If you watch it, you know I was just throwing straight haymakers. I wasn't throwing anything. I wasn't throwing anything like I was supposed to. I should have threw more jabs. I think I threw total 50-some strikes. I threw maybe 3 jabs. So that tells you where my head was. I was just trying to take a head off. And I guess the game plan going forward is just stay focused, stay poised, realize that no matter what's going on, no matter what's in front of you, take care of the business you got to take care of. Don't worry about that belt. Don't worry about the crowd. Don't worry about the scene you're doing. Focus on everything you just trained for the past few months. I went in the cage and I threw out all of my training, and that's the biggest problem. That was my problem. That's why I lost it. I threw my training out the way.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, I kind of see that happen, often, especially in the amateurs. It's just, man, it's so hard not to go in there and just try to get it over with, because your good stuff's early.
Yep.
And if I can hit them with some of the good stuff, I can get them out of there. And it's very tempting. It's very tempting. And that's where, discipline and cardio are king in this game. You have to be disciplined to stay composed in those tough moments. You have to stay disciplined to not get too high or too low going into the fight. And you got to have that cardio. Like, it don't matter. You can be as confident, calm as you want to be. But if you push harder longer, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't
ain't got
matter.
that deal. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
It seems like that's easy to do. Like as far as like when you got a big goal in front of you, and then you already got the blueprint in your vision, and it's just like you throw it out the window just because like you feel like, man, look, this is what's gonna happen, and it seems like it's easier to forget amateur wise. So like, what can you tell like all the amateurs, up and coming amateurs like myself, and what advice would you give us to keep us focused?
Stick to the game plan. Like, do not deviate from the game plan unless you're in that situation where you 100% have to. Everything that you focused and you trained on for those few months, stick to it. Because if you get away from it, you're going to do like I did. You're going to go in and you're going to do nothing but headhunt, and you're going to put yourself in a bad situation. When I go back and watch that fight, I come to damn tears every time because I'm like, man, I didn't throw any jabs. I didn't throw anything down the middle. And if you remember our last interview, that's what I said. I was like, the kid stands in the middle. I need to throw something straight down the pipe, and I'm going to hit him. I wasn't throwing anything down the pipe. And then 2 or 3 shots I threw down the pipe, I put him on his butt. And so it's just stay focused. Listen to your coaches, stay focused, stay poised. As soon as you feel yourself getting above or out of the situation where you feel comfortable, do what you can to get some distance, or if you got to, wrap them up, breathe a little, and then get back composed. That was my biggest thing, is I didn't get back composed. I stayed at this high pace. We stayed at a fast pace off rip. We were just, every time he touched me, he threw 2, 3 back. Every time every time he touched me, I threw 2 or 3 back, and every time I touched him, he threw 2 or 3 back. So it was just a back and forth contest. And sometimes you get into those brawls but it's up to whoever can come back to their nature and come back to their game plan they set up. And I think he did a good job of coming back to his game plan and laying down some just lay down some strikes, just lay down a couple of jabs, touch his nose a little bit. Because if you're throwing haymakers already, you're gonna be gassed. You're gonna be a little bit winded. So all he did was touch my nose, touch my body a little bit, and I was like, oh, whatever. Well, forget that. Go for the head.
Yeah.
And it's just that, just like when you get to those moments of you're like questioning what you got to do, try to remember what you just trained for 2 or 3 months.
Fight to fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
fight.
game.
You got seduced by the moment.
Yes, big man. Like legitimately, it was 2 things. I'm not knocking my boy Terrio. Terrio told me right before the fight, he was like, "Hey man, go crush him, go kill him. You got this. You gonna beat him everywhere." And when I heard that, and then I seen the belt, it was just like my eyes just got big, and I was just like, man, I know I got him. I knew I got him. I'm better than him, but he was better than me that night. But I feel like I'm better than him. I just did not stay disciplined. I just headhunted, and I wanted the belt more than I wanted who was in the ring with me. And that's it, man. Just focus on who's in the ring. Don't worry about the crowd. Don't worry about the referee. Don't worry about nothing. Worry about your game plan and that man right across from you, and you're gonna be sound. Especially on the amateur level, you're gonna be sound.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I talk to these guys about a lot is, hey, win the exchanges.
Mhm.
Don't think about winning the fight. Don't think about winning the round.
Yep.
Win the exchanges. If you like break it down to its simplest form, and if you can win those exchanges, then you can win the rounds. If you can win the rounds, you can win the fight.
Indeed.
But like don't like you said, your focus was in right field when the
Mhm.
pitch is coming down the middle.
Exactly.
That's
it.
And it, man, it happens. All right. So piggyback off into that. Let's get into that Contender Series main event last night, because I feel like what we were just talking about
It happened.
personally is kind of appropriate for that.
Yeah.
I don't have a dog in that hunt. I mean, I wish both guys could have won last night. Like just for the area, baby. You know what I mean? Like represent us. And they did. But in the pre-fight in the video, one of the things that I caught that Rambo said was, he's like, no matter whether I'm hurt, tired or whatever, I'm going to keep coming forward and keep fighting.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been the kiss of death in that fight last night.
Got to be fighting.
Yeah, like when he did take that shot that kind of rocked him, and you saw his legs get wobbly right there before he got backed into the cage and took the body shot. When his legs got wobbly, he stepped right back in the pocket. And it's like, man, like you gotta learn. I ain't saying that he doesn't know, but like kind of one of those moments where it's like, it almost looks like he got seduced by the moment, and he was like, man, I'm just gonna go out on my shield.
Yeah,
Instead of just taking a lateral step and trying to throw Danny off of that center line.
Indeed. I think when he seen Danny, either it was a slip or a punch. I can't really tell. I need to go back and step on it. But I think when he seen Danny like fall a little bit, he just seen the contract. He seen the contract. He was like, let's go for it. Danny caught him with that left hand. That left hand is lethal. He just stayed poised, stepped back, caught him with a little sharp left, and then instead of him charging, he just picked his shot after that.
He walked right in, and he was looking for that straight left, and man, he found it.
Yep.
And that's what put Rambo on the cage, and then that left hand underneath to that liver. Those liver shots shut you down, bro. Like I don't care how I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how many fights you had. Man, like you get touched on that liver,
that floating rib,
it just shuts you down.
Yeah,
like you can't do nothing with it, man. But I felt like that was like for what both men was able to show in that short amount of time. I mean, they both represented well,
And we have to take in the fact that both of them weren't supposed to fight each other. They had other opponents and they backed out. And
within like 2 weeks?
Yeah,
they had different opponents up until 2 weeks prior.
Right. I think they announced it. My fight was the 16th, so I wanted to say they announced it maybe the 14th or 15th. And that's when they announced that those two are going to be fighting each other. And like from there, it was just like, all right, it kind of throws out a little bit of game plan. Because maybe when I was training up there in judo, it seemed like Raheem was training more for a guy that's going to grapple more for that. And so you get in a cage with a guy like Danny, who's a known striker,
who has almost a 6-inch reach advantage and uses it.
Indeed. So I think that's what got Raheem, is just like just the moment, and then the short notice, and then going against a guy. I think he had so much emotions wound up on it. He just wanted to get it in there and get it over quick. He didn't want to brawl with I think he kind of considered him a brother a little bit.
I agree. That was one of the things I was sitting there fixing to, I was thinking about was, I wonder, I just wonder because, like I said in the video before, they said, hey man, I'm gonna go do this, for my family and handle my business. You do that for yours and all that. But I wonder, just like, especially with both of their backstories, both of them, coming from close proximity, they clearly knew each other. Like I don't know how well they know each other or what kind of friendship that they have or anything, but I imagine like not wanting to do that. I felt that like watching them like when they faced
You
off.
can
I was
definitely
like,
see it.
I was like, man, like I don't know, it just seems off. You can tell it. You could kind of tell it like there's an undertone, and it's like, man, like it seems like these guys, they understand like we got to fight each other, but we don't really want to fight each other because
then you put in a tough position because both of them were going up, and both of them could have won contracts that night. I think both of them were ready.
I think if both of them would have fought different people, they both would have walked away with a contract.
And
I
now,
agree with
now
that.
you're in a spot where you're like, dang, I have no choice because with that, the UFC come calling, man. If you say no,
well, that could be your last shot.
that
period.
Done. So he had no choice but hurry up and step into it.
Because that's one of the things Dana White talks about with Merab and Aljo was like, do you want to be the best in the world or not?
All right.
Like, I understand he's your friend, but like, we're here to prove who's the best.
Indeed. Now you see Merab's not even getting looked at.
Exactly.
Like he's getting skipped over. So
they messed up. And let Sean win that.
Indeed.
Because Cheeto's got the win over him. Outside of the Sugar State Athletic Commission.
Right.
The Sugar State Athletic Commission said that's a no contest, never happened. But outside of that, all the other athletic commissions in the country, Cheeto Vera's already beat Sean. And that's the only loss. So
I look at it too, like, even though we talk about that, like the guys that want to fight each other, I think they looked at it more like we got two guys, the best out the state from the same play. I feel like we always talk about the performance. I feel like they probably one thought the performance would be better. Two, it make the moment bigger. So it's like you in a dog eat dog world. So it's like I feel like they did that to make the moment even bigger. And like you said, to put them on the spot to see who's really the best. Because if you got two guys coming out the same place, and there was talked about.
Yeah, it's a built-in storyline.
Yeah, you hype it up and get more views on your show. You want more people to tune in on that Tuesday anyway. You get the whole Memphis, whole Southeast region to tune in on that.
Especially with them guys, it could have went either way. You don't know who would have won versus Rambo going in with somebody else he prepared for. They probably felt like, well, Rambo got this, Danny got this. But with them two guys, it really was we don't know.
Yeah, it was,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you had 6-0 and 7-1 going in there against you. It's like, bro, like these are some hitters, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
And somebody's got to get the silver medal, but it's like it's not a knock on either one of them because they're both right there at the top.
They're right there.
It's like y'all are. They're definitely at the top, regionally, and so it's like you're right there trying to break into like the highest level. It's like, man, unfortunately, somebody had to get the silver medal.
And then with the night, like just the other fights set of the besides the fourth fight, it was just straight chaos. So you knew those guys had to come in as the main event. You knew someone had to bring it. And so it just
and that's another thing that I wonder, with Rambo and like him just staying in there walking forward like that was like, he saw that one right before that, and it's like, man, not only was that a snooze fest, but then it ended in controversy, because I didn't think the guy was weight bearing on that hand. It looked like his fingertips were barely on the ground, and whenever dude lifted to throw that knee, I mean, his hand was already off the ground swiping, and he didn't fall forward. He stayed standing on his feet.
My whole thing is I agree. Like Dana did the interview after, he was like, man, it's wicked how he was hurt. He was hurt. And as soon as they announced the fight's over, he hops up like he has energy again. So to me, just watching that fight, I hate to crap on other fighters trying to make it, but it's just like it's like he didn't realize where he was. It's like he thought he was on tough instead of the Contender Series.
Well, even his coaches was sitting there in the corner, like after the first 2 rounds where he just, grabbed him and laid on him. They're like, hey, do it again. Hey, go do it again and we're going to get this contract. It's like, bro, you're not going to get this contract. Just because you win don't mean you get the contract on this show.
That's what I said. I think they were confused on which show they thought they were on. Like, you're not on tough. On tough,
this ain't the Ultimate Fighter.
You're tough. You just win out. It don't matter how you win. You win out, you get the contract.
Right.
Contender Series, you got to put on the show. You got to show Dana, like, I'm with it.
And point proven, like we saw, like 2 of the fights earlier in the night, the winner and the loser got contracts. Because it's about the performance. It's not about the outcome. You can fail upwards in this sport if you put on the right performance. You can fail upwards. Look at Cyril Gahn. He's 2-2, 2-3 in his last 5. and he ain't fought in nothing but main events and 2 world title fights.
Indeed, man.
Or
And
3 world title fights. I take that back. Interim and then 2 actual, unifying fights, which he lost against Francis and then he lost against John, but still. He's under 500 in his last 5 fights, and he still keeps finding himself in a main event.
Yeah,
people like to see him fight though. That's part of it.
And like I can speak on that personally. After my fight, like I said, it was a brawl. Like we just went at it, and I showed my heart and I showed my will. As soon as I got finished, there were like 2 or 3 other like show promoters that came and talked to me and said like, man, hey, as soon as we get up next year, we're gonna call you, we're gonna contact you.
Yeah,
like, please get on our show. And the guy that runs Attitude, Scotty, like shout out to Scotty. That was a great ran show, great venue. Attitude MMA. If I can ever get on your show, shout out to you guys. That was amazing. That was really, really amazing. And Scotty told me right away, he's like, man, that was fight of the night. You guys brought it. You showed heart. Like anytime I'm gonna get you on. Anytime I'm gonna get you on. Any other guys from your gym like that, bring them. And I want them. So like you go in like that, you show your heart, you put it all out there, people are gonna come. Like you might, like I told you guys, I hate to lose more than I love to win. I didn't get that title, but I don't think I lost that night.
Oh, absolutely not. Your stock definitely went up.
Yeah, like I got followers from all over the world. I had people from Kazakhstan hitting me up and saying like, "Oh my God, you have heart, dude! Like, want to see me?" And I'm just like, I was sitting there mad. Then you see that, you just like,
and you
all right,
and that kind of helps put things into perspective as far as like. That's why, I try to tell these guys, like, look, man, like when you go out there, like people already have respect for you.
Mhm.
Like, look how many people are in this building.
Yeah.
Most of them are sitting in seats.
Right.
They're not the ones walking in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
got respect for you either way.
right.
You know,
Good
like,
Lord.
yeah, it doesn't matter, man. Win or lose, like they know that I don't want to get in there.
Right. Like
You
you gotta
know?
be crazy. You gotta be crazy to want to do a sport where you voluntarily get punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah.
no avoiding it. You're gonna get hit.
Yeah,
And
you're
so,
gonna
like,
get hit.
So like you already have to have a different mindset and a whole different attitude.
Yeah,
Like,
you got to go ahead and accept that.
I
Like
can't
from
remember who
day
said it,
one.
but they were like these MMA fighters. If this was, BC time period, we would be the gladiators. We would be the
Yeah.
Spartans. We would
Yeah.
be them because we have this different mindset. We're willing to do what it takes to like blood gets us going for some reason. We see a bit of blood. We're like, let's go.
Yeah.
Most people see blood, they squirm up.
Right.
But we're different. So.
It's the pressure of the moment,
Mhm.
and it's to me it's a natural instinct.
Indeed.
It's like when that aroma of that blood you could smell it,
Mhm.
or like as soon as you can like taste it in your mouth,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh no, man,
Let's go.
you just poured some high quality gasoline in
Let's
me, like. Oh
man.
no, you done messed up
Oh,
now.
that's why I was so hot, man. I wanted to go to my third round just because of that. I was like, oh, I see blood. Where's this come? Oh, it's mine. I can't breathe. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. Caught my breath and I was like, all right, let's go. Ready to go.
Yeah.
But,
So
this happens.
when it comes to that too, and like once you say like no disrespect to any referees, and then it's just for people out there who wants to know, like, so what's the difference between like when the referees calling a fight amateur and pro out? Do you think you would have went longer if it was a pro situation? They would have let you fight it out, or
Yeah, for a fact. So even as soon as the ref stopped my fight, he seen me like get up and I looked at him with big eyes, like, no, you stopped it. And he just said, he was like, look, man, amateur, I had to. I gotta protect you. So that's the difference is they know it beforehand and they'll tell you in the fighters meeting. They're gonna tell you, amateur fighters, we're gonna protect you more. We see a little bit of this, we're gonna go. Pros, we're gonna give you a little bit more leeway. So show your way. So you have to know that inside.
Yeah.
And so that was my fault, trying to play possum
Yeah.
in an amateur fight. Like that's a bonehead move. Like, be smarter about it and realize you're amateur. If you look like you're taking a lot of damage, they're gonna call it.
And that put everything in perspective. Like, you got guys who come in, they like to see blood. They like, some guys will take a punch or two. Like,
Mhm.
they'll take the rocky route, right?
Yeah.
But they don't know, like, bro, they gonna call the fight
Man,
versus a pro. And I think a lot of people don't know that. Like, that's the crazy part about going into MMA or even boxing. Like, a lot of referees protect the amateur.
And that's where the brain side comes in. That you got to be smart about your situation, knowing what you got going on, what's at stake. Me personally, I was thinking like, oh, it's an amateur title fight, so he's gonna give us that leeway.
Yeah.
But he didn't give us that leeway. And when he explained it to me afterwards, he was like, I gotta protect you, you're an amateur.
Yeah.
I couldn't even get mad though. It's like I'm mad at the fact that he called it.
Well, that really changed the game plan a lot too, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Facts.
as far as like, okay, standing and banging, like, it's you gotta, you know what I'm saying,
You
pick
gotta
and
go bring
choose what exchange you're gonna get into, right?
Mhm. You
So
gotta
I
bring it.
think that's pretty different. Like, as far as what we see, like most people see regular people love watching MMA.
Mhm.
They, they see on TV like, oh, they letting them bleed and all that versus the amateur thing.
Yeah, yeah. Amateur going to stop it a little bit more. And even just like some of the rules, like we were in Tennessee. If we were in Mississippi, I could throw elbows. I could do different type of tosses, different type of slams and everything. But in Tennessee, you got to be cognizant of I can't throw him down this way. I can't neck crank this way. You can't do certain things. Can't throw elbows to the head. Can't throw knees to the head. So like some of that messes with you too, because some like us down in Mississippi, we're used to like I'm finna throw this to your head. I'm
Fact.
finna make you bleed. I'm finna like cut you open. But up there, it's a little different. We're one of the rare states that still allows amateurs to throw elbows and knees. So like that plays a part in it too. So you just have to be cognizant of the rules and what's going on in that situation like that.
Especially like when you in a moment, bro, and you gotta hold back some of your arsenal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we gladiators, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I can't use this.
Right.
So it's kind of like, okay, everything I know, I gotta hold it back. And I can only imagine for some people, like it'll create bad habits after a while, especially if you're constantly going to this place to fight or in this area to fight. And I think that's the more challenging part. But that's what you think, Cole?
Well, I think that's why Mississippi has the best rule set. I think it prepares you the most for that next level. Like I understand, like them trying to eliminate certain things because of the amateurs. But at the same time, it's like, well, you're not doing them any favor once they go pro.
Right.
Not at all.
So it's like, to me, man, it's a 50-50. It's like, I can perfectly, like, if you had someone from the commission and they're sitting there, yeah, but man, like these dudes ain't getting paid to do this, like we got to make sure that they go back to work Monday and all that. Man, I agree with every single bit of that. I also agree with, like you said, if you get used to fighting somewhere where it's like, oh, well, if I go down to the ground, like he can't elbow me or not. But then the day you turn pro,
boom, you throw that elbow.
well, now your whole game's changed, right? Now you're liable to get taken down and like really beat up because you're sitting there fighting for, you're going to sit there and start trying to, fight for an underhook and try to get up. Well, all of a sudden he just flattens you out and starts elbowing you in the face. And yeah, you're like, whoa,
Yeah, it throws you in different ways. So like,
I ain't used to this.
My whole opinion on it is I think like maybe under 18, you say no elbows. I can understand it. But once they go over 18, I think they should just allow you to throw the elbows, get it ready for it. Because my whole thing is if I can kick you in the face, that kick can cause as much damage as that knee as well. So why it doesn't make sense to me why we stop it.
Yeah, but we can even go further on that. Like like that's where I think like I'm a fan of like one's rule set.
Mhm.
Except I would also kick into that, and I would go pride rule set, man. Like the soccer kick. Look, I know it looks worse, but it's like okay, one soccer kick compared to 15 elbows. Like you can sit there, and if someone's half ass partially covering up, they can sit there and just take elbow, take elbow, take elbow. As long as they're not getting cut and they ain't bleeding, they'll sit there and it's like, all right, so if we were talking about this whole safety thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you telling me it's safer to take 15 elbows and to just get kicked in the face one time and boom, that's it?
All right. It's just
it's a weird one, right? It's close. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, we think this is almost like a political debate when we start talking about this. It's like,
yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it's people that didn't really participate in the sport coming up making these rules. Sometimes they're like, "Oh no, you can't do that," but like, you don't understand.
One would think like just in Memphis, like with all the MMA camps.
It's not Memphis though. It's Tennessee. It's the state of Tennessee.
State of Tennessee. You would think they got Memphis is in it, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like it's like the athletic commission is the Tennessee State Athletic Commission. You know what I'm saying?
My bad. Then, well, you would think like. So you know what you're signing up for, right? That's just any other thing, you sign up for that, what comes with it. You wouldn't think they would hold it back like that. That's the irritating part.
But man, there's a lot more that goes into it than that. Especially when you start talking about like the state athletic commission, brother. There's politics, there's money, there's several, there's several things that will factor into making this decision or that decision, allowing this, not allowing that. Because like I said, like most state athletic commissioners are appointed by the governor.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, it's inherently political from the rip. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Just off of that. But then, then you get further into it, and then it's a money thing, and
it's just a grab one way or another. Like
It
everything
is.
goes back to politics. And
it
when-
really does.
like you said, you have a governor appointing the board. Like it just could be a guy that was his good friend, doesn't know anything about MMA.
Yeah.
He knows boxing maybe only. So now he's making rules on MMA and like
And honestly, that right there, what you just hit on, that's most state athletic commissions.
Yeah, most of them are boxing.
Most of them are former boxing commissions, and like MMA just got thrown in there.
Thrown
Like
in
they're
there.
like, hey, y'all already cover fighting, like just cover this fighting too, and
I
so
think they need to separate the two
100%.
for sure. Like,
100%.
That'll solve a lot of problems, a lot of issues.
Yeah, you need to have a designated experts, is what I would say.
Mhm.
It's like okay, if you're the commission that's supposed to be entrusted with the safety and running the event, making sure the event is safe, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
and all this different checks and balances. It's like, okay, well then you should be a subject matter expert.
Correct. All right. That's how. That's
Like,
how I agree on
you
it.
know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be a 40-year boxing guy coming into an MMA sport
Right.
and saying, "Oh, well,
that
you know,
ties to the judge and shit.
we just ain't gonna do this day because you know, I just don't like it.
Mhm.
I don't like that MMA stuff and how y'all do this, so we just ain't gonna do it today."
Like
I'm not saying no names, but I've been a part of it. I've seen that happen with my own eyes. Like I've heard that personally. Was, hey, well, you know, I just don't really like it. We ain't gonna do that today. And it's like,
I can say it like
that's
this.
not how it works.
The
That's not
easiest
how it
one to
works.
show is the 12-6 elbows. Every single fight meeting I've been to, they've explained it 30 different ways. Some say this, some say you come from the ground. It's a 12-6. It's just so.
And
it's
that's
ticky-tack,
all
it's
BS.
wishy-washy.
All right,
So,
let me tell you something. How many clocks have you ever seen on a ceiling?
none.
So how is it a 12-6 elbow? Clocks are on the wall.
Exactly. So it's just,
So it's on the wall. That's where a clock is.
It's
If
a
you're
pure
gonna
concept
call about
rule.
12-6, like the whole reason that rule was made was because of the karate dudes breaking boards, breaking bricks with their
Oh,
elbows, jump
man.
from the 12-6, and it's like, what are you talking about, man? I could just roll this thing over and smoke you way harder than this.
yeah, like it just doesn't make sense. Like,
Well, like I said, it's because of what they saw in the movies with the karate people breaking the bricks. It's just one of those weird
It's like they
things.
was just watching, like, oh, we don't want them to do that. That's
Yeah.
cool, but we don't need them to do that.
Well, you got to think back, you know, like so the first Ultimate Fighter was in 1993, and then, you know, as the years progressed, you know, I think it was somewhere around like 96, 97, maybe 98-ish is whenever like they actually had to come up like with the unified rules and all that. Because early on, you know, that's when John McCain and all them was like, oh, you know, this is just like human cockfighting.
yeah,
you know?
it was, they
Like,
just throw 'em in the
which I
ring
mean,
or
it
whatever.
kind of was because I mean, you know, they even branded it that way as like, you know, no holds bars, no rules. Even though there actually was a couple rules, like you couldn't poke them in the eye and you couldn't kick them in the nuts, you know, deliberately. But like that was basically it. You know,
those
like
you
you
do
had people,
whatever.
yeah, like Tank Abbott tried to throw a dude out of the cage, you know, and it was stuff like that. And so it's like they had to come up with the unified rules. But like, you know, I've listened to Big John McCarthy talk about it several times, and it was like that was one of the things that he was just like, okay, whatever, like if that's gonna hold up the whole process, okay, no 12-6. But he talked about it. It was strictly because of the videos of the karate dudes breaking the bricks with their elbows. Like, that's wild. That's wild, ain't it?
Those pre-cut bricks.
But to think and to think that we still go by that, like nobody has ever they do those sports science shows. Like, why don't y'all just science it up?
Hey, come on. Like,
You know,
show
test
the
the
proof where
theory.
it's bad.
Yeah. Show us where
They
that's
can't.
worse than any other strike. Show us where you're going to get hit harder or more damage is going to happen from a 12-6 elbow than it is for me just throwing a right hand right down the middle.
All right. And it's wicked. Like, you can't throw that 12-6, but you can throw an axe kick straight.
That's
Come
crazy.
on. So it's the same lick, it's the same blow. It's for some reason they don't like elbows and knees and some
Many times, you know, a spinning wheel kick to the head.
Come on. Come on. Like, be real. Like, it just doesn't make sense, man.
Like,
You know?
my God, man. Like when Edson Barbosa hit, man, what was that dude's name? I can't remember. But like that, man, that was one of the craziest knockouts. And it was so fast, but it was scary. I remember I was sitting in Buffalo Wild Wings watching it, and I saw it and I was just like froze, like he might have killed him.
Yeah, you know a lick is
Like, he
crazy
might have killed
when
him.
everyone is quiet after. They're not like, oh, it's just like,
They're just like, oh,
is he gonna get up?
yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's how that lick was. So I
Right.
agree with you. And then like, I don't know. I just whatever, man. We can go all day on that,
I
man.
know, man. I know. That's a
go all day on
freaking
this, so
rabbit
wicked.
hole. We can just wear that out. All right, man. So what's been going on with Draco Athletics and stuff?
Man, Drago legs, we stepped it up.
Drago.
It's all
My
right,
bad.
man. People get it off, man. Remember, it's Drago.
Drago.
So everyone that sees it,
Drago.
you see that dog, Drago. Remember Ivan Drago from the Rocky series. So
Rocky
that's where you
IV.
get it from. All right. But what's going on with it right now? We've been doing some designs. We got some cool camouflage design that should come out. I'm aiming for like the end of November. I've been kind of so focused on the fight game that I kind of stepped back from it. But recently I've been checking out these Pee Wee games, and I had a whole bunch of extra small jerseys, small rash guards that I ordered. So I've been giving out the rash guards to the kids that I see are putting out, and the kids I see that are a little bit needy. I can tell like, he only has a t-shirt on under.
Yeah.
I give him a rash guard. So
Oh,
I've been
man, that's
doing that. I've been
That's
spreading it
cool.
out, and it's been pretty cool. The past 2-3 weeks, I've been going out to games, taking photos, and it felt really wholesome to see my design on the field and seeing the kids come back and say, "Man, this is pretty cool." It like I like it. I thought it was gonna be cheap, and they're like, "Nah, bro, this is better than Nike." And I'm like, "All right,
There
I'm gonna
you
be
go.
there." So it was pretty cool to it was pretty cool to see that. It's pretty cool to see all that. I gave two of my brothers the rash guard, and they didn't even know it was my design at first. I could tell them, so I just let them go through it, and then when they seen me come in, they were like, "What is this? This isn't Nike. This isn't Under Armour. What is it? It's like really good material. What is this?" I was like, "That's ours, bro. Like that's ours." And to see like some of my brothers, like if you know me, you know I'm a real nonchalant face guy, and like their face lit up. They're like, "This is ours. This is ours." I'm like, "Yes, bro. We finna change our generation of cars. We're gonna build up." So we're just building right now. We're just branding out, getting a name out there. I'm keep doing designs. I had a little bit of a snafu with Adobe. They deleted a lot of my designs I made through summer.
Man.
Just crap you got to deal with technology. It's just something, but it was cool. I'm kind of glad it happened because now I can go back in my book and design some more, create some more, and get into the whole thing, and hopefully get some rash guards out here to more people. Get some shorts made soon. I got some Nike tech type suits coming out. So I'm just working on getting a lot of product out, taking my time with it. I don't want to rush it because that's the biggest issue I've seen from a lot of designs. They
Yep.
rush it and they don't get the full product out there the right way. So I like what I did by getting the original rash guard out and just letting people get a feel for it, getting their feedback, and let them tell me what they think, if it's too thick, too skinny, not good in the wash or anything. But so far we've been getting some
How could you
great
order if you
reviews.
wanted it?
Right now, I have a website that should be up in 2 weeks. I had my original website hijacked, man. I'm just going through a lot. I'm going through a lot with technology right now. I had my original website. It was hijacked by some scammers or whatever. And so now every time someone kept trying to order, they would, take their money. So it was a snafu there. So I'm gonna work with my coach, Cody Floyd, actually, who owns like a management company that's dealing with stuff like that, digital marketing company. I'm going to work with him to set up a better website and go from there. So any people out there that need some digital marketing done, look up Solve Tech Media by Cody Floyd, our coach. He's getting a lot of companies out there. He's building the websites.
Shout out Cody Floyd.
Yeah, Cody Floyd's a freaking beast at everything he
Yoda.
does, man. But right now, you just message me, girl that's Reno, on any social media website, girl that's _ Reno, or you can look me up on Facebook, Coreno Blanchard, or you just look up Drago Athletics. You can message the site, and we can either start creating your design. You just tell me what you want, and I'll get in. I'll start designing it, and working out on it. Now that I got a little bit of a break and I can wiggle room and go through the fights, I can actually start setting up with some of these designs and start setting them out there. And just work on marketing, getting it out there, and we'll hopefully by this winter we'll be full-fledged and flowing more and getting going. So that's the biggest thing with Drago right now, which is getting the brand name out there, getting seen. And not only with that, not only making rash guard stuff, we're doing Drago Media. Like I said, I've been out taking photos and everything. You can go check out my Facebook page, Coreno Blanchard, and check out the photos I took of the Aberdeen Knights. They have a good Pee Wee program, one of the best programs I've seen ran. Like they are really good, man. They are really good. This program started maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They have like 2 or 3 championships right now. All 3 teams are undefeated. I think the total are like 25-0.
Dang.
Damn,
And
bro,
their
that's
11
good.
and 12-year-old group, like they're special on each group, but this 11 and 12-year-old group, I ask them all the time, how did you do this without recruiting? Like the kids are that good. Every game they've played so far has ended with a like a mercy rule. They shut them out 45-0 early every single game. And they're out there having fun, enjoying it. And they have a couple of kids. They have this kid named uh uh Big Play Bray, what we call him. His dad is Allen Evans. So Bray Evans, he's a great quarterback. He's in the 6th grade, but he's already taller than me,
Jeez.
throwing dots. I'm talking about throwing beautiful balls, spirals, the nose is dropping on it. But and then I have this other kid, Jason Robinson. Jason is he's 7th grader. He's like 6'2", 6'3".
Good.
Freaking, they got beasts out there. But the biggest one I've seen, and I hate to just make him bigger than anyone else because it's a team sport. This kid named AJ is AJ Vassar. They call him Superman. He is one of the smartest kids I've ever seen. Like, you see a lot of Pee Wee kids. You remember watching Cody Paul when we were little and all that, and seeing like them being faster, being jukey and all that. What gets me is this guy is 12 years old and he's out there. He's telling the cornerback, "Hey, you press up right here. They're finna run a slant. You on the backside, they're gonna run a post on his backside. So I got you. Don't worry about it when they throw it deep.
Good
Hey, D
football
line, you crush
IQ.
in." He's at,
No, he's a field general.
he's doing that at seventh grade. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what he does. And then I was like, I wonder how good is he? He goes to this national Pee Wee comp last year, and they played 3 games. In those 3 games, he scored like 24 touchdowns. Like, I guess national competition now. This is not just your
Wow.
local guys, this is national competition. So this is how good he is, and he does it with his smarts. That's why I say that separates him for the rest. He plays Pee Wee, 7th grade, and 8th grade right now.
Wow.
That's how wicked the kid is, and he doesn't get tired. Playing both ways the whole game, doesn't come to the side, doesn't complain, always has a smile on his face. When someone messes up, instead of him, "Oh my God, why did you miss?" No, he's like, "Hey, bro, like next time you just do this." It's ridiculous how
So he's
mature he
mature.
is.
I was gonna say he's
Yeah.
mature.
His maturity is wicked. And so look out for that kid, AJ Vassar. He's gonna be hit. He's one of those guys like Nick Saban, Billy Napier with Florida, man. Come over here now. Like, come over here now. Forget little baby Gronk. This kid here is it. It's just, you just have to come. And when you come, and I don't even have to say his name or say what number he is. You're gonna see it and be like, oh my God, this guy is like that. So that's my biggest thing. And just taking the photos of those kids brought back a big light to my face, and just seeing them having fun out there, doing their thing, is pushing it as well. So like, if you need any company, like obviously we got the Slice Fighting Network for the fighting game, but if you got Pee Wee games out there, you got a little prom night, you got little pictures you want to do, look out for Drago Media and contact us. I'm doing a lot of it for free just to get the practice in and just to help out kids, because when I was young, I didn't have that. I
Right.
didn't have anyone filming my games. I don't have I have none of my game film, like none of it. All the years I put in. So just look out for that, and I'll help you and get your kids some memories out there so y'all can hang on to that for life.
That's
Shoot
a great
yeah.
way to get back, bro.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Coreno, girl, that's Reno
Girl, that's
Blanchard out there doing the
Reno.
God's work.
Girls,
sir.
that's Reno. And ladies,
All right, man. Appreciate your time, bro.
I appreciate y'all, man.
For sure.